You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds. Nerds!
Welcome back to the Nerds Podcast. As we go deeper into Alien Earth, episode 5. This one's called Space, In Space, No One, and then 3 dots. The 3 dots are called ellipsis. I just recently found this out. I've never heard of the word ellipsis, but until now, I wanted to make sure what it was. But and there's a difference behind the meaning itself when we say in space, no one, and I think the word is supposed to be here. So there's nobody can hear you screaming in space. But, you know, if you're liking our channel and you're liking this conversation, please give more than an ellipsis. Give a like, give a subscribe, share. It's the best way to support the channel if you're enjoying it as we continue and go deeper. But episode 5 takes us back into the ship. I think it's called the Maginot or something like that nature. And we're quickly reminded how everything that's going on here takes 2 years before the original movie. So Pete's going to put on a screen, and I'm going to go through this with you real quickly. Before that, we have Prometheus, which is in 2093, which talks about the origination of the alien species. And we also have Alien Covenant, which takes place in 2004, Alien Earth, which takes place in 2020. Then you have the latest movie that came out, which was Alien Romulus, which is 2142. Then we get 1986 spectacular movie Aliens, which is by far my favorite. Aliens 3, which both take place in 2179. And of course, Alien Resurrection, that was in 2381. Whew! If you were looking for a chronological order to kind of find out where Alien Earth belongs, I just went through it real quickly. Pete, so we get to see how the crew perished. And I know that you're not a huge fan of this show, but I know you can appreciate what they're trying to do here. But did this episode change your perspective on Alien Earth, maybe season 1?
Yeah, it did a little. They ramped up the action. They kind of took it. They kind of did like a time jump or like a rewind to show, like you said, show us what happened on the ship before. Because from what I remember in the first episode, we saw that part where he was about to escape. He reported the crew was dead, and he escaped, and he let the woman who he seized, who he superseded her rank. He took over for her because she just wasn't getting it done. You saw she was losing it when she saw these two die after they went to save that younger kid. I'm sure we'll get into that. But it was like it was the equivalent to me of a prequel of a movie, like So yeah, it was, again, they ramped up the action here, not as much talking, but yeah, it took a somewhat of a better, it got a better route from what it has been the first couple of episodes.
No, I agree. This is exactly what I wanted to see. The carnage. I wanted to see the craziness. I wanted to see the Xenomorph more, and I got what I wanted out of episode 5. This is very much, and it felt like the old Alien original movie, Ridley Scott's Alien movie, and I think the episode stood by and mimicked a lot of the origination of the movie. Now, this episode, of course, opens up our eyes to much more different species within this Alien franchise. Was there one alien outside of the Xenomorph that stuck out to you?
Well, yeah, just to jump ahead a little bit. The one that they were doing the testing on the rat, and it looks kind of like a worm. It looks kind of like a leech.
I call it a tick, but I'm okay with the leech because it sucks blood.
It looks very much to me like a leech. And my first exposure to a leech is from the movie Stand By Me, when they went into the pond or the river.
Yeah. He had to burn them off.
And Will Wheaton came out, and they all had him on him, but Will Wheaton had him, in an didn't seem like it was a good spot, even though I don't think any place is a good spot for a leech. But
the main vein, baby, the main vein.
Yeah, he had it in a not a great spot. But that was my first, of course, as a kid, that was my first exposure to what a leech looked like. And then this, to me, is very much the same. Looks very much like a leech. That is crazy, being that what he did to the water. That was grotesque. And he almost
that leech was crazy, man.
And he almost got into he was being just disrespectful. He got into her sandwich. He was about to get into her sandwich. Good thing they saw it, because the leech to me is just insane.
No, I agree with you. The leech, by far, the fact that it sucks the blood out of you, and it was smart enough to open the container. Exactly. And these things are much more intelligent than we're giving them credit for. And I'll get into that in a second. But when it spewed the baby leeches into the water, my skin did crawl. By far. And were you watching the water bottle as it went along? Were you like focused on the water bottle?
I was. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why I said he was being disrespectful because of what he did to her water. But yeah, I was like, oh my God, just please drop it by mistake. You know what I mean? So you don't end up.
And they would tease you. She would get up and they would kind of like do something, and she puts it back down. Again, just that eeriness of the almost. And when he drank the water, the bottom of my stomach absolutely dropped. But let me kind of get this into chronological order, because you're right, we are jumping ahead. We get, of course, the green lettering that starts all over again, and it tells us that there's 17 days out ahead, kind of giving us that timeline about a little over 2 weeks before they crash landed. Again, I appreciate that stuff when they do that. And we kind of course, get started with Morrow waking up because Clem, who he started calling him chlamydia. And I'll be honest with you, he reminded me of Langston Fury for a moment there, when he wouldn't stop calling him chlamydia. Did you get the same thing when you were laughing?
No. I caught it, and I was like, what the hell is going on there? But just trying to pay attention to the story.
Yeah, so, he wakes up, he's in his boxers, and this is very similar to the 1979 movie when Ripley, Sigourney Weaver, waked up. She was in her drawers as well. She was in her panties and a t-shirt. He was in his drawers, and, as soon as he wakes up, they start with the gossiping about the girl. What I thought was like Eva Mendes. It was like a young version of Eva Mendes.
Yes, I got that, yes.
Okay, as long as I'm not far off on that, I appreciate that you can see what I saw. Absolutely. But Clem, they call chlamydia on the show, which I was laughing at, talks about the gossip about her sleeping with the science officer. And Morrow gets to the med bay, and he sees the captain is dead because they messed up. They tried to cut it, not knowing that the acid would actually be in the blood. We saw that in Alien, the first movie, but they kind of did it slightly and it dropped on the floor. Here they messed up and they cut it up, and it, of course, fried his neck open, which they bursted him out. Looked like nothing. Were you shocked by that at all?
Shocked at no. Not at all. Again, this is we're showing the beginning. This is before they crash, So I did like that aspect of it, that they kind of gave us like a backstory of what happened before. So I wasn't surprised at this again, and I've said this before regarding what they're dealing with. Extremely dangerous. I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for anybody else, but this is something, if I saw something similar in real life, I'm not touching it. I'm walking away. I'm not putting it in my car so I can look at it later at home. But these people, for some reason, I get they're scientists. I guess this is the mission. This is the cargo that they need to protect at all costs. But damn, man, sign up for something else, man.
There must have been a lot of money on the table.
I guess. And they're talking about shares at some point. So I get that. But damn, man. I mean, then don't be surprised at what happens to you if you're messing with stuff like this. It's like the movie Anaconda. You went to chase a giant anaconda. What did you think was going to happen? It ate everybody, except for Jennifer Lopez and Ice Cube.
Well, we all want to take a bite out of Jennifer Lopez.
Don't say all of us. Not touching that.
Well, they attack her more than anything else. But yeah. So anyway, we get wind of a Salvatore right after that scene. Morrow gets dressed, and he pretty much finds out that they're low on fuel, and they're more likely a missile heading straight to Earth than a ship. That is a crazy concept to think about.
They got a lot of stuff. They got a lot of issues on that ship.
No, and listen, I don't think Morrow at this point, as you stated before, he was questioning. I'm gonna call her Eva Mendes right now, so we know who we're talking about. I'll get her name in my head in just a second. But I don't think, because he's cyborg, right? He's a portion of him is robot. I don't think he trusts human error. And that's why I think he wants to take over. That's why I think he sealed himself. He couldn't deal anymore with that whole situation of them messing up. I think he kept on seeing it. And I know she said that it's probably mutiny. But do you think Morrow has a synthetic superiority complex?
He doesn't seem too trusting of anybody. He doesn't seem trust. It seems like he doesn't. Now, I wouldn't say an inferiority. So what did you say again? How did you describe it?
I called it synthetic superiority complex. Does he think he's better than them because he's a bit machine?
No, I don't see that. I see more that there is a mission, and I don't see that he thinks that he's better, but just wants everybody to kind of pull their own weight, and it doesn't seem like he's getting that from everybody.
Listen, yeah, no, I can't disagree with you there, but the reason why I say that is because I think he feels a little bit entitled. Because remember the conversation when she said, "I'm gonna talk to the computer." He goes, "I'm not talking to the computer. I'll go straight to Yutani myself," which I think is the grandmother because of the time frame. He doesn't know, right? Yeah. And there's a 65-year gap in that sense. But I think he does feel a little entitled. Like he's like, I speak to the head of the company, not even to a computer mother, what they was calling it.
I don't see it as entitlement. I see it as this is a serious situation. We need to get shit done. That's how I see it. Not that he's better than anybody else.
Well, listen, I'm gonna go back to something that you had said about what they are doing, and as soon as I heard the comment, I thought of you, Pete. And the comment was that the space bug is a reminder of how stupid smart people could be. And again, I went straight to you when I thought of that, and because they're smart enough to build a ship and too stupid not to bring these alien creatures back home. Did you hear that portion of it?
Absolutely.
You said it perfectly.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, it's crazy to think that they're studying these creatures, but in looking at the Teocelis, which is the eye thing, and of course the leech, I think they're studying the humans just as much as the humans are studying them. What do you think?
Well, yeah. But it is also, it looks like something, are they feeding? Are they feeding as well? Reproducing? I don't know what it is that when it got into the water bottle, what was the purpose of that after it was, obviously, like you said, it's smart enough to know, yeah, you know what? She's drinking this. She's going to drink it. And it ended up being somebody else drinking it. But again, what's their purpose of wanting to do that?
Well, the thing of it this, and I look at it this way. I know, again, I'm not going to hide this. I'm in Florida, right? So being in Florida, we got mosquitoes. Mosquitoes, you can't leave water around too much because mosquito put their eggs into the water. And for the most part, it's to protect the eggs away from things trying to attack it and predators. That's how I saw it. Like in the sense of, I look at this completely right now very different. I don't think the alien, the Teocelis, or the leeches are the enemy here. I think the 5 companies that are running the world are the true enemy here, because between the Xenomorph and all these other creatures, they're just doing what they do, survive and try to duplicate themselves. Are you seeing it that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
It could, again, like you said, they're going about, their everyday life, whatever their lifespan is, whatever their purpose is in life, they're going about whatever it is they do. But yeah, the setting has determined that that's who the main villain is of this show.
Listen, I was shocked that Mr. Zen wasn't a synthetic. The Asian sensation on the thing, who's also a little bit of a creeper. Because again, in this episode, he was smoking a cigarette. He showed fear when the thing came down, and that's when I found out, like, man, I thought this guy was a robot, and he's not.
He's a weirdo. He's just a weirdo.
He's just a weirdo. Zafari, that is the name of the female, Zafari.
Yes.
Basically, it just came to me. Sorry. She's pouring the dirt on the incubation where they have the face hugger. That was a little weird to me, and even though it's from Utah, I get it. We have Morrow kind of checking out all the videos, and I love how the chair went side to side, like it didn't, like he wasn't moving it. He can go to whichever screen is in front of him. That was pretty cool, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I saw as well. But then we get Morrow's core character, and we learn about his daughter. Her name was Estelle. We learned that Estelle died at 19, which was 12 years into the ship. And the mission means everything to him because he has nothing left. His daughter's dead. Which, again, from what I read in those letters that he had, it looked like Yotani was paying for her college. So I think he feels like he owes the debt, which is why at the end of all this, he's saying, this is my life's work. This is what I have left, and I want to pay it back to Yutani in a sense, which is a very cool feature. We get the cryo chamber, of course. It breaks. We saw that when they came in to check out the ship after it crashed. That I forget his name now. Hermit is his name.
Yes. Wendy's brother.
It's no longer here. It exploded. It left already. But again, so very quickly, we're getting everything kind of making sense of how it's happening as well. I love the chronological order of this, like the way they broke this, how the ship crashed. I loved it. But with all that said, we get the scene where they have the science officer, and they kind of tease the whole eyeball and the ticks. And did you see how the eyeball was trying to warn her?
Was okay, so that's a good point. Was it trying to warn her or distract her? I thought it was trying to distract her because, again, look, you got the Xenomorph, the leech, the eyeball. Look, I don't know if they're on the same team. I don't know if they're enemies of each other. So I took it as he's trying to distract her so the leech could do what he was trying to do. That's how I saw it.
I didn't see it that way at all. I didn't see it that well. People, honestly, comment. I'd love to hear this one, the debate. Was he warning her or was he distracting her? Pete, you got me leaning on your side. You got me leaning on your side when it comes to distraction. Malachi, the apprentice, spews up blood. Like, we knew that he wasn't going to make it, right?
He's the one who drank the water.
Yes, yeah. Did you see when they were trying to remove the ticks and it spewed out a toxin?
Yes, very graphic.
Like, how do you get away from it? You can't take it off. And it was creepy as hell to see them kind of crawling inside of his body.
But they said it. They said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm trying to save his life." And he did no such thing. He killed.
No, all it did was create more death.
Yeah, exactly. So,
we get Morrow, of course. He kills Salvatore. He finds out who the Salvatore is. Yo, come on. He knifed him just like a Xenomorph. Was it kind of crazy to think that way?
No. I mean, that's that's what he did. He's been showing off that blade that comes out of his hand for the first 4 episodes. It was about time he used it.
We get into these final scenes, right? And the alien gets behind her, Zafari. She's a little bit of a shock immediately. Of course, anybody would. But she starts jetting. And I got to tell you, this is by far my favorite scene in the whole thing. Seeing the Xenomorph run through the hallways.
Yeah.
That is always the coolest thing. The thing is that for the most part, when we watch the movies, we always get the alien's view, how he's running. We never really get to see him move the way he did. I thought it was super cool. How about you?
Full body shot of him in action. Pretty good, for TV. And again, I guess growing up, we would only see this type of stuff in the movies. But I guess, the way the technology has evolved over time, we're in 2025. You see full body on cable show FX. It looked pretty good. Yeah,
sharp. We get a scene where the engineer has the dialysis in his eyeball. Again, same thing. When he was he calling to the alien when he started speaking, or was he warning? What do you think there? He had opened up his mouth, he made a sound, and then the alien was kind of behind her.
Oh, he had to be calling out to him. I don't think there's any other way you can look at that, because why not? But then they started fighting after that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. But the way he did it is the only explanation is that he was kind of calling him towards him. So that's how I saw it. Like,
bring it.
Yeah. Or look, she's here. That's how I saw it.
The way he jumped to get behind the Xenomorph to kind of put him in a chokehold, and then he starts biting onto the Xenomorph. Did you see that?
Of course.
Like, why would you bite? Again, I guess the dialysis is not carrying
that. Yeah, dialysis is in control at that point.
No, it's because it doesn't matter if the body gets hurt.
It made the sheep stand up. It's in full control.
Stand up!
It's in full control. It's not that wasn't the engineer at this point. He was in control. It was in control.
Yeah, so we get back into that scene. Morrow seals it off. We kind of recreate that whole scene. The saliva in the face, which is gross. But then we end this whole thing with Morrow speaking to Yotani. And while she's ready for a meeting, he's ready for war. So I got to ask you, what do you think is going to happen next?
Well, again, he's prioritized the cargo, so I think that is, and he's prioritized. He showed how much of a priority it's been in this episode, and he's done that before because he's questioning the synthoids, the synthetics, about what's on his. It's his ship, what's on the ship. So that's been his MO from jump. And I'm not surprised that he wants to go to war, and I think that's what's going to happen. Remember, we last episode, one of the synthetics was looking for somebody to sacrifice. So we're going to get back to that, and then we'll see what happens with Morrow and, getting what he wants. Again, like I've said before, he's all about the mission, and he wants that kid to sacrifice somebody, and he's all about the cargo, and that seems like to be his primary objective.
Were you shocked to see that Boy Cavalier was behind the sabotage?
No. He's a scumbag. Like, he's just a...
But did Morrow tell her that he was behind it? Because I don't think he told her.
No. I didn't hear that.
So why wouldn't he tell her? Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to give you my prediction. I think that there's going to be a full-on battle between Yotani and Cavalier Boy's whole Prodigy team. I think we'll see a war. I think being that Wendy has a relationship and she can talk to the alien, we're going to see a fight of an alien alongside a synthetic fighting in a battle. I'm kind of hoping that happens, but we'll see where that all goes through. Thank you so much. Again, support the channel, like, subscribe. Let's talk Alien Earth. Make some comments. Pete, take us out.
We will return.
The worst episode ever.